Imagine sitting at the breakfast table with your morning cuppa and seeing this glaring up at you. That's exactly what Holly Willoughby experienced today, and she didn't even have to open the newspaper. It was there in black and white, in huge bold letters, on the front page. Phil calls Holly the witch, a move that sources say has put the final nail in Holly Willoughby and Phillip Schofield's friendship. Oh dear, and so close to Halloween as well. We digress. And of course GB News presenter Eamonn Holmes couldn't keep his mouth shut following the sensational revelations, and has once again stuck in his two-penneth worth. More on that later. In what appeared to be a cleverly orchestrated attack from Team Schofield overnight, Holly Willoughby has been absolutely annihilated with a barrage of media mud-slinging. But again, as we witnessed yesterday, the reports are very conflicting, as the battle rages between the two former This Morning presenters, with allegations and counterattacks being fired from all directions. One report suggests that since being branded one of 3 S's of showbiz, being called the witch, and being accused of bringing Phillip Schofield down, Holly Willoughby has allegedly shrugged off her former bestie's aspersions, with pals claiming the TV star couldn't care less. The Sun revealed how Phil began calling Holly the brutal nickname, the witch, after they fell out last year amid his departure from This Morning. Holly has yet to publicly respond to the comments, but those close to her said she'd never rise to Phil. A pal said, "Holly isn't batting an eyelid at this. It's like she couldn't care less. Phil is coming across as incredibly bitter. Holly knows who her friends are, and they're the people she pays attention to." Yet, in conflicting reports, Holly Willoughby has allegedly been left horrified and upset by her ex-colleague's attack, after it was claimed he sent her a scathing message after he was fired from This Morning. Phillip Schofield recently returned to our TV screens on the Channel 5 series, Cast Away, where he ripped apart 3 former colleagues from the show, branding them 3 S's who had no loyalty. During an episode of the 3-part series, he blasted, "People can be fake. They can be so fake with you when it's all going well, and suddenly utter betrayal. There are a lot of amazing people on morning television. I think there are only 3 S's. One of them is a coward who never stepped up in Q-Gate. One is a coward because they never stepped up when I was being batted. And the other is just brand-orientated." According to reports, it was alleged that Phil sent Holly Willoughby a scathing message, which read, "You brought me down," when his TV career came crashing down around him. A friend said, as well as saying she had brought him down, he said he couldn't believe his TV sister would do this to him. Now it has been reported that Holly Willoughby has been feeling upset due to her former This Morning co-host's attacks, and feels this is the final betrayal on Schofield's behalf, with no way back for their friendship. A source said, although he would never mention Holly by name, she feels Phillip's throwing shade in a snide way because he's still angry she didn't publicly support him. Phillip lied to her, so she feels she had no choice, and she finds it really disrespectful that he would invite all this speculation, especially given what she's been through the past year. She also feels the timing isn't great, as it's taking the attention away from her new show. She always knew Phil wouldn't stay away from TV, and, while he said this is his last show, she doesn't believe it. It's giving her extra stress that she doesn't need. The source added, Holly feels that her former colleague won't be quiet until he's even some scores. She'll never regret the choices she made, including distancing herself from him amid his scandal, but knows she's paying the price now. During Phillip Schofield's TV return, he addressed his brutal opinions on what he expected when he returned from the island. He ranted, "When I get on that boat and I leave here, I will know that I did my best and I've said my piece. Anyone who's bitter about that, honestly you can F off because I don't give an S. I quit." Mic drop. However, just days after the remarks were aired, it was reported that the makers of Cast Away are in talks with Schofield about more documentary work, which Phil is said to be considering. And Phillip Schofield's nemesis Eamonn Holmes has spoken out once again. The GB News presenter, we noticed however, was surprisingly less voracious with his views considering his name was mentioned in Team Schofield's overnight attacks, during which it was reported that Phillip thinks Eamonn is petty and bitter, and took great delight in being involved in Phil coming out, and that allegedly Phil recalled how Eamonn made jokes about Phil being gay. There were also other quips that Eamonn has yet to respond to, including the reports that Phil found it humorous after Eamonn's marriage woes hit the headlines, after previously mocking Phil on his GB News show. Something you'd expect Eamonn to be chomping at the bit to respond to. But what Eamonn did do was astounding. Instead of lashing out at Schofield's remarks, he chose to lay into Holly Willoughby instead. Interesting. Do we smell a rat? Quite possibly. On GB News this morning, Eamonn Holmes fiercely shut down the defences of former This Morning host Holly Willoughby, and claimed her friendship with former co-host Phillip Schofield was false. Reacting to the latest revelations surrounding the Schofield-Willoughby feud, Eamonn Holmes took aim at Willoughby, claiming she was protecting herself and her career amid the fallout. Hitting back at co-host Isabel Webster's claim that Willoughby lost her career over the scandal, Eamonn fumed. "She's never been stronger." Isabel then interjected, "Well, she's not on This Morning anymore," to which Eamonn rebutted, "She's on Netflix and she's on other stations. This Morning is a daytime TV program. She doesn't need This Morning." Weighing in on the argument, Showbiz reporter Stephanie Taki came to the defense of Willoughby, claiming that she was previously the golden girl of ITV before the allegations came to light. Taki explained, "Because Phillip Schofield's career became tainted, he was taking Holly with her. So she had to protect what was left of her career. I think for Phillip Schofield, they were very much in it together, and he saw a different side of Holly." Eamonn disagreed, raging, "It was very much a false relationship really. Look at the way it ended. If this was your friend, you would come out and you would say, 'Look, something bad has happened here and I don't agree with it.' But she said nothing, absolutely nothing. She was protecting herself throughout this." Reaffirming her defense, Taki then claimed that there are many different sides to the story, adding, "There was the illicit affair he had with the younger male colleague, which she says she wasn't aware of. There was the allegation against his brother. Apparently ITV said they weren't aware of the extent of the trial to that. So there's two scandalous things here. How do you deal with that when your career is also on the line? There has to be a separation." Hitting out at the broadcaster, Eamonn then fiercely claimed, "ITV are obviously lying about a lot of situations, and there's executives who don't seem to appear. This faceless person, Emma Gormley, she controls daytime TV. She fires the bullets for ITV and Kevin Lygo. But you don't hear anything from those two top bosses." In criticism of Schofield, Taki then concluded, "What I don't like about this is Phillip Schofield was very happy to play ball when he was still in This Morning. But now he's come out, he's labelled them as the three S's of Showbiz. So why is he exposing them now? It's only now that his career has gone down the drain. He wants to name and shame. So what will happen next in this epic battle? Well, we suspect Team Willoughby didn't get much sleep last night, as they carefully plan how to maneuver Holly and her reputation out of this big old mess." The Dancing on Ice host has several upcoming shows to promote, including the skating show she co-hosts with Stephen Mulhern, their new upcoming game show You Bet, and Mega Money Netflix show Bear Hunt, as well as her big brand deals. Yes, Phillip Schofield has definitely put Holly Willoughby in a very precarious position. One wrong move, and her house of cards could come tumbling down. And that is exactly what her aggrieved former bestie Phillip Schofield wants. Will he succeed in knocking Holly off her TV pedestal and rip the daytime TV crown from her golden girl head? It might just be possible, in our opinion, as certain publications that once tripped over themselves to praise and fawn over Holly Willoughby's every move seem to have turned their back on her. Like and subscribe for more journeys through the blinker hole. For entertainment purposes only.